Yo, what's going on, guys? Today is today is Friday, March 6th. Um, Today we had our first trading week in March. I'm gonna do a little recap of what happened, everything that went down, the trades that we took. So yeah, let's get right into it. Starting off with Monday. Oh, by the way, all this stuff I'll pop it up on screen and stuff so you can see the trade, and then all the like trade of 8 stats or whatever, so it's all on there and documented. But to start with Monday, we had our first loss of the week. It was a $500 loss. I remember this day. Price was going crazy off of open, and it kind of happened the day after, I'm pretty sure too, where price would just like pick one direction and then just pump like 300 points or dump like 300 points or something. So there's like nothing really to take anything off of. This one was a 15 minute, but clearly didn't work out, as you could see from it. My bias was bullish for that day, but you know, these ones didn't work out. So that was our first loss of the week. Tuesday we took another loss, another $500 loss. It's like 543. And hold on, that one's loading really quick. There we go. So that one, it was out of a 15-minute rejection, 1-minute inverse. We had our SMT at the top and everything, but price was just really choppy this morning. Probably should have just had a no trade day, but I ended up going in anyway. I did have a bearish bias, and it did align with that, but it was just a bad trade that didn't work out. This is where things started to get better, though, on Wednesday, because price actually started moving a little bit better. No, I'm not sure if it was, I don't know, just bad price action being over or whatever, but we did catch a good trade. It was out of a 15-minute rejection with a 1-minute inverse. It was a bullish bias. And this one I entered in late. I remember this. I entered in late just because I saw how obvious the draw was above. So I went in with that, but I did go in late. And yeah, that was 470 for Wednesday. For Thursday, this was my craziest day this week. Thursday and Friday were my craziest days, but this is where things kind of switched up for me. My strategy kind of changed a little bit. I tweaked a few things. I started making my draw liquidity more important instead of certain rejections or things like that. I'm starting to realize that literally the most important thing is your bias and your draw liquidity for a trade, and then you just need a clean entry. That's kind of all you need. So this is where I kind of switched up a few things, and it actually started playing out really well. I made $1,100 on Thursday. My first setup was on my Lucid eval, and that one I took, I believe it was $400 to $500. Bullish bias. It's a 5-minute rejection, 15-second inverse, but the draw liquidity was so obviously above. So I entered off of that. It was a really clean inverse, and it was only like a 25-point trade. I'm starting to do that more, where I don't take huge trades like 1 to 2s. I'm happy with 1 to 1s if it's like 20 points, 15 points, 25 points, something small like that, just to end on the day being positive, instead of going for bigger RRs. But so that's what I've been trying to do with that. And then the other like 600 I made was across, I'm pretty sure it was 2 trades on my Apex accounts, not on my Lucid ones, and these were both during Asia session actually. Same setups is in the morning, almost identical. Obvious draw liquidity above. It was a 1-minute inverse for this. It was a 15-second inverse for the first one, and then that was taken up to relative equal highs at the top. That was my draw. And then the other one was a 1-minute inverse with data highs at the top that price was being drawn to. So that was a really good day. $1,100 all on Thursday. And that was where, I don't know, I was feeling really confident about how I switched it up, the strategy a little bit, because now I understand it so much better. It makes so much more sense to me. And I think that's the most important part. As long as it makes sense to me and I understand what I'm doing and it's statistically backed that works, then we're good. That's all I need. So I continued that mindset into Friday, and today we made $850. I took one setup again on my Lucid account. It was a short it was a bearish buy, so I took a short. It was a 15-minute rejection with a 30-second inverse, and we were targeting internal lows below. Super clean, played out in about 3 minutes. It was a really, really good setup, and that was like, I think I was 20 minutes into market open, maybe a half hour into market open, and I took it. It's perfect. And then I did after that. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but I had 2 or 3 trades that I took on my Apex accounts. And honestly, I was kind of testing things on them, but some of them were like good setups I actually believed in. So that was the other like 400 that I made. So in total that I made on like my evals today, like what we're up today, $850. So really good Friday as well. And then for, just this total this week, we ended off the week making $1,400. Super happy about that. It feels really good to kind of be out of the losing streak that we had, because we were honestly red for the past 2-3 weeks before this. But I was kind of stuck on that old model that I was using for the strat, and ever since kind of switching it up for the past few days and just really understanding what is really necessary, again, draw liquidity, bias, and then delivery and a really clean like entry point. That's all you really need. So that's what I'm going to keep doing for hopefully the next week, and we'll see how it plays out. But just doing the past 2 days, I'm feeling really confident with it just because I understand it really well. And it's working. I mean, you saw most of our profit this week was made up in the past 3 days. So just super happy about that. In terms of, I don't know, other stuff that happened this week, there wasn't a ton of news or anything that happened. I think price obviously had a weird start to the beginning of this week. I'm not sure if it was because of the model I was using or, other news. But I am kind of curious, would I have had winning days at the beginning of this week if I did the strategy that I'm doing now? Kind of curious about that. I might actually go back and backtest and see what setups I would have taken. Just go play it back and kind of see. But honestly, really good week. Really happy with it. Yeah. So I'll make sure I'll pop all those up on screen for you guys. But besides that, again, just happy that we're out of that losing streak and that I have something that I really understand and I'm really liking so far. So hopefully we could keep that going, continuing into next week. But yeah, honestly, that's gonna. Oh, I'll just update you on like the evals that I have. So I have 2 Lucid accounts. I have one Lucid account that I haven't touched yet, and the other one is, the balance is at 49,600 right now. I honestly saved it. I thought I was going to blow the account because earlier this week I was at like 48,100, 200, something like that. It was really low balance. So I was able to build it up this whole week. And basically, we're starting almost with a fresh account, basically, with a balance. So hopefully we could continue to just build it up into this next week. And then I also have one Apex account that I bought. Their rules changed recently, so I bought one of their accounts. I think my balance on that one is like 49,000 something else. That one I didn't take too seriously, but I'll start to take it definitely more seriously now and just try to build the balance back up. But yeah, those are all the evals I have. I have 3 evals, and hopefully we will be able to pass some of them in the next week or 2 here, especially if we could keep the profits that we've been getting consistently. But in terms of the risk reward and stuff that I'm doing, my risk management, I did stick to what I said I would do last week. I only took 1-to-1s this week, and honestly that worked out really well. I wasn't being stressed to being able to take more. I was kind of just going for those baseline hits, just to count towards those winning days, and just honestly to increase my win rate. So I honestly like that. It's better for my mental. I feel like it just makes me feel like, I'm making more progress, even if like I got 2-to-1s or 3-to-1s. I think this is just kind of what works for me, and it's going to be different for everybody else. Some people like those really big hits that they get, but I'm personally fine with those small hits. And then, you kind of got to take into account when you start scaling this stuff, you could start, multiplying those across several accounts with a copy trader. And say I took this on maybe like 3 accounts today, that would have been 1,500 on one of those trades, which is really good. So I just want to keep that in mind where, it's not just one account that I'll be trading on in the future. Hopefully I'll be able to scale it up where it's multiple. And, obviously that number is going to multiply with it. So I just got to keep that in mind. But other than that, guys, that's going to kind of do it for today's video and today's recap. Really good day. Super happy that we ended Friday on a really good day. Again, 1,400 up on the week. Finally coming back from this insane losing streak that I feel like we had. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all the things. Go follow my Instagram. But yeah, I will see you guys Sunday for, a little weekly outlook, seeing what we're hoping for next week. But until then, thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.